Hilchos Pesach, here we go. We're in the middle of being baidek for chametz. We're on page Lamed Ches. So we just learned that anytime you don't do the bedika at the appropriate time, which sounds weird, so why do the bedika? Meaning not on the Leil Yudalid, you're doing it earlier. The halacha is that, number one, you do not put out 10 pieces of bread, and number two, no one's listening. Thank you, Baruch Hashem. You need at least one person listening. Yeah, that guy. We continue, and Simcha says that the Kovetz Halachos that the Sham Shabbat Knesses is able to make a bracha on the bedika. We continue with Sivtes. What does it mean to be Messiah in the bedika? Says the halacha over here, that which it says that if you didn't hear the bracha, you should not help during the bedika. Because everyone that is helping in the bedika should be part of the bracha. So that which we said that if you did not hear the bracha, you should not help with the bedika. Hainu, what does that mean? When you're helping in the actual bedika. Aval, however, holding the candle, it's not called helping. So all those that always were like, prided that they got the job of holding the candle, just realize you are not relevant. You are not part of the bedika. Ubezen this, everyone holds that you can do that without a bracha. And the makar to this is, Rav Shmuel says, it's pashit. When it says that there's a whole shayla, if you should help with the bedika, if you weren't part of the bracha, that's only if you're doing the actual bedika. However, to hold the candle, that's not considered misayeh in the bedika. Therefore, you don't have to be worried if you didn't hear the bracha. Yes? No, the point is he could help, but he has to be by the bracha. No, he has to be by the bracha. I don't understand. There's a Chai Yankov, that he's coming from in Sifkat and Yud Aleph, which says that if you didn't hear the bracha, you should not be made a shliach, which we can understand because be a shliach in the mitzvah, you have to be part of the bracha in the mitzvah. So if you didn't hear the bracha, you should not be part of this. That should not be part of the mitzvah. So he's saying one who didn't hear the bracha could still hold the candle. That's all. You should not be part of his bedika. Again. It's something very simple. It's called we have a chiyav b'dikas chametz. Chiyav b'dikas chametz is mechayev you to walk around the house and look for chametz. So he should not help. You are going to chayk Yaakov. I don't know what your question is. Okay, this argument could be for lunch, and we're going to continue to Yud. That which the Mechaber says, it's better to not talk until anything till you finish the bedika, which we learned this in the Kitzur very poignantly, says the Kovetz Halachos, it doesn't just mean until you finish the bedika, it means until you actually are mevatel l'chametz. Why? That's the Gemar habedika. Now this is very interesting because this is coming from a Pri Megadim. If you look at Ahara Yud Beis, the Mechaber says, Toiv, you shouldn't talk till you finish the bedika. The Aruch HaShulchan, Mishabura, and the Gain, they use a lashon similarly, and he says, so it sounds like from there that when you finish the bedika, you weren't mevatalit, who cares? You finished the bedika. However, the Pri Megadim says, Kol HaBedika sounds like until after you do the bitul. We saw in the Kitzur made a good point of this, that the bitul is really what you're doing, that the whole drive is to get rid of your chametz, which is happening with the bitul. So when we learned the Kitzur, we said that it made a lot of sense, it goes together, and l'chayra, that's the Pri Megadim. Yes? Of course. Well, it depends if they're helpers. Oh, you just dove into a can of worms. Slow down, sir. Let's continue, because you're about to see that you might have had a problem your whole life, sir. But let's get there in a moment. Okay. Sif Yud Aleph. Pashit. Shemasas Rachabem Sabedika, Yivarich Ashiyatz Miyad. No, this wasn't your problem, I hope not. That if you use the toilet during the Bedika, you say Ashiyatzer, Gam Shabarachi, Yishlal Anais, Amen. You're allowed to answer Amen. Yud Beis, Lachatchil Nachan Adav Jabal Bais, Yivdika Kol Ba'atzmai. Check yourself. It's very difficult to check everything yourself, and therefore, which has a bracha. If they spread out. And it says in the bottom here that Avad Shmuel says if someone could do it on their own, it's better. But there are clouds, a lot of tircha, and therefore someone could help you. We continue with Yud Gimel. Yud Gimel. Let's say you checked too early. You checked too early, even if there's no chametz and you didn't bring any chametz into the place that you checked. You don't have to check again. So we all hear this and we're like, well, obviously, push it. So God's very fascinating that if you look at Tetzvav, it's a seven Shulchan Aruch. It's one of these reasons, like, before knowing anything, don't, like, dive in. Like, yeah, it's push it. You don't have to do another b'dika. You just argued on a Shulchan Aruch. And it says in Mishnah Berurah, you got to do a b'dika again, Lauren Air. Sarach livdik b'layla kimina kol Yisrael. And I don't care if you did a b'dika the night before, you didn't do a b'dika. Mishnah Berurah seemingly is pretty violent. Comes on the Aruch HaShulchan. Dover push it. It doesn't help. Fascinating. This year, B'dika's Chametz is Sunday night, Motzei Shabbos, whatever reason, you did the Ganze B'dika. You call up the Rav, and says, okay, you did your B'dika. Like, why would you think not? Zok Tarach HaShulchan, do it again with a bracha, like the Dach, the Bach, and the Levush, and the Chayk Yaakov. However, comes on the Pri Chadash and says, he learns out from the Mechaber, it's Noita like the Bach, which is Masik Ladin, not like the Bach, and therefore comes with Rav Shmuel, and he paskins like the Rav Achrayim, that you do not have to do a B'dik again. But just to realize it's a brewing machlokes. Yes? What, on the 14th? If you put out the red. If you're going to. If you're asking why he didn't say to make the bracha again, that's a good question. No, but even still, it's a good question. I think it's going to be Viter, because this is Einay B'Samach. I think in the footnotes Viter, I got a little bothered by what you just said, and I couldn't find. I think in the footnotes Viter, he points out. Let's continue. Let's see. Are you allowed to lichatchila check before the night of the 14th? Says the Rav Shmuel, and you're doing part of the mitzvah without a bracha. We're sort of getting an appreciation over here that there's something called actually b'dikas chametz. And I know that sounds funny, but yeah. He says over here, at the end of the first paragraph, Vaday min aroy shalasch afilu mixas mitzvah b'li bracha. Chayim yudish yich lived like a kobel el yadal b'vaday other lived like a kolaz. El shabdar klal. It's difficult. Kashli tuval devri chayk Yosef. Okay, there's a ganze sugi over here. Let's continue. Amnam b'dar klal kash lived like a kolaz el yadal. Kigam the chalak lived the chalik be'leido shekin lekein v'zoyer. Be careful shalachos lechamis leschil shabeyadak ve'in kepei de lasch abdikol el yadal kamat avsher. Okay, this is really where it comes from, because if you're reading this properly, it sort of obviates the whole cleaning business, because if you should do everything the night of the 14th, then you should do everything the night of the 14th. But the fact that we sit there, we clean, we basically obviate the whole point of the B'dikas Chametz, and therefore, what are you doing? So he says, okay, as much as possible. If you're not able to do it, then you're not able to do it, and you do it on the night of the 14th, which of course is really, I don't want to call it minhag, but avada, that is basically the minhag. And we continue. I would like to get to parts that are more relevant. So let's continue. Tezayin. Misha, these are more in the Sugya Shabbai. Tezayin says, very relevant. You have two houses, two different chatzeris. Someone has an office, someone has a house, someone has a car. What do? You make one beracha, one on all of them. Which obviously, if you learn different areas of halacha, it's a massive chiddush, because usually the going outside is the biggest hefsek in the world. Same thing, your friend calls you up, I forgot to do my b'dika, I'm coming on Yantif, so he has a chiyuv b'dika. What does he have to do? So he asks, you can do b'dika for him, sure, no problem. You just go right into his house and do the b'dika. You should not be talking bechlal. Comes along Yud Zayin, it says, Mishena Badik Ba'atzo, you mean a Harbe Shluchim lives like B'shilai, very common case, father, bunch of kids, so they're called his Shluchim, so one person makes the bracha, they're all going in his behalf, Yachol Kalechem and the Shluch Levarech HaBdika Sai B'fnei Atzmai. Excuse me, here he's saying something else. I'm sorry, this is a different case. Here he's saying one person can make one bracha. This would be more in let's say a hotel, and you have to do B'dikas Chametz on 100 rooms. 100 rooms. So, guys, I don't know what to do. I should say that. I have no clue what to do. But let's say, I think they might work it out with the timing of rental. That that No, I think we're going to see later on. I believe there is a chiyuv to do bigas chametz. I believe they do. They walk into every single room. I think that's what they do the night before. So what do? You have 50 rooms, so whatever, 100 rooms. So you have a bunch of people. So he says over here they each could make their own bracha. Obviously, one person could be to all of them, but they each could make their own bracha. Like case of the hotel, let's remember that. Right, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Let's say the owner of Mr. Greenwald himself. So he's not doing the b'dika. He's having his 50 mashiachim going out. So he could sit there. He appoints many shulchim. Each of them could make the bracha. Oh, so that's, I don't know. We have to get there. I believe he talks about this later on, how it works. A lot of it is totally on, which we're going to see when you show up to the hotel. If someone is there the night of the 14th, so they have a chiyuv on themselves. But let's say if they're not, yeah. So we're going to get there. Emir Tzeshem. But let's just get to two more quick halachas over here to wrap up the parak. Two houses, two chaseres. Doesn't have to wait. He does not have to. He does not have to wait, and the halicha is not a hefsek. So one bracha, he goes to search the next house. He didn't do anything. That's the chiddush. Let me just speak it out. Very good. I'm standing here. You're standing next to me. I make the bracha. I start checking here. You go and you drive to Brooklyn to go do bedika. That's fine. Now, why he wouldn't make his own bracha, I'm not really sure. He just said a second ago he's able to. That case was on the balabais is not doing the bedika. Yeah, but it's a chalik. Who cares? He's a shliach, but the shliach's allowed to do his own bedika. Allowed to make his own bracha. Why doesn't the shliach make his own bracha? So who cares? He's allowed to make his own bracha. But yeah, I have two houses. If I have two houses, if I do bedika in my house and you do bedika in my own. Interesting. I hear. You're saying Mashenkin is if you'd Zayin over here when each was doing it and he wasn't doing it, so that's the make them bracha. She's saying it's connected to the owner. Very good. Good. I agree. Let's just speak it out. Very good. I agree with the math everyone's saying. I did not think about this, but it's very nice. Is that if I'm doing a bedika and you're helping me do a bedika, so it's one bracha and you go and you do your bedika. If I'm not doing a bedika and I hire the five of you to do a bedika for me, I ask you, I don't have to hire you. Maybe I do. It depends on you, not on me. So then I don't make the bracha, then you make the brachas yourself. Exactly. Well, there's renters there, so they have to take care of it themselves. But weiter. Sif your test, and this is what you were talking about before you're making your do your own thing. Mishnah Maven Lashon Targun, Vatal Lashon Maven. Kaigamna says Shmuel a Chiddush. I think that's what everyone does. Everyone says it in the Targum, and then they say it in English. Says Shmuel, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Says Ha'ara Chav Aleph, and I'm fascinated that this is in the Ha'ara, and this isn't on top. Second paragraph. Rabbi Shlita. Shebacharim shebebeis aviyem yesh lahem ledaktik loimer gamkin kol chamira. Davagav sheim seim chaloshon aviyem kamakim yesh lamam shalatzman. They have some money for themselves, and therefore they have to move out to their chametz. Says a married woman does not. Now, I wonder aloud, Rameir, you were pointing out before that l'chayra the kids could talk because they're not really involved. But I don't know because they have to do their own kol chamira. That means that be'etzem they have their own bedika. So then they're not doing no bedika no. Let's see. It's about a 15-year-old living at home, but he has his own few dollars, which means he has his own pilots on things, which means he has to do kol chamira. So the chayri should be able to talk. I mean, if you take out his side here and you go with I'm being married at that point. No, so I think the answer might be, and this will conclude. So I think you could split the two. I think what he's saying is they either don't have a bailus in the house, which we have to get to what he's in a paskin regarding married kids and coming home and whether they could do a bedika with the parents and this stuff. But let's get there. Yeah, let's get. But yeah, if a kid has his own dollar and he bought a candy, you forget about the candy. We're worried about bitul here. Bitul is on the dot of chametz. So if he ate a cookie, l'chayra, when he picks it up, it says cookie. He can be mekadosh nisha with that cookie, l'chayra, even though his parents paid for the cookie. Maybe, yeah, maybe no. I'm not really sure. But the bottom line is he now has something. If he drops a crumb, it's his crumb. So Shmuel's saying he has to do bitul, but he didn't say anywhere that he's a chiv bedika. He didn't make mention to have to do the bedika. Maybe you could split the two, and therefore would not require him to be quiet. And Chav Chaval basically says that you don't have to say Kol Chamir 3 times. I guess the Rishitza said you have to. And the Nusach Kol Chamir, we say the Lashon of Hefker. We're going to stop over here. We're Pashtas, just to give you the Seder Advarim. We're going to skip the 6th chapter, and we're going to go on to the 7th chapter, which is possibly the most Nagia chapter in the whole Sefer for many, which is those who travel. Those who travel, you're going to be home, you're not going to be home. So Mirza Hashem, Pashtas, we're going to pick it up for the 7th chapter tomorrow in Mirza Hashem.